Coach, it feels like it wasn't all that long ago that we were asking you, Connor's area was playing well, but the pucks just weren't going in, and now it feels like they are going in. Is it just a matter of sticking with it for him?
Part of it, for sure. I think where he's kind of gained, where the points have kind of fallen for him, that power play unit's been pretty good for us. And I think it's allowed him to feel good about his offensive game. And I haven't seen as much chemistry with the line as I would have liked to have seen. There's stretches where I'm like, hey, I think we got something here. And there's stretches where I'm like, oh, come on, boys. But I do feel like his play with the puck has been really good, and I feel like he's got that swagger to it now. It's now just continuing to build on the rest of his game that's going to make him a guy that will be on the ice when we're protecting a one-goal lead late in the game. That's ultimately what you want for a player like Connor, is to be a guy that's used in every key situation. So it's keep doing what you've been doing with the puck, and then keep taking steps in the other portions of his game as well.
Has there been progress with those steps?
I think there has been, yeah. Like especially we haven't used him in the middle of the ice until this recent stretch of games, and I think he's gotten better just about every night he's played there.
Those moments where you see something you like with that particular line, like what are they doing in those moments that makes you think, okay, there might be something here?
I think they share the puck amongst themselves, so they're close together, especially in the offensive zone. I think Jacob has a lot to do with it when he is playing through people and when he's using his speed to create turnovers or be first to pucks. I think it allows them to play more with it. So one, I would say when they're around each other, they share it well together. And two, if Jacob is playing the right way, he's able to create some loose pucks and opportunities for them.
Your two goaltenders are separated in ice time by like 22 seconds at this point in the season. I'm curious, as we get towards halfway, what's your assessment of how that timeshare is working?
I think it's worked well to date. I think both guys have been good for us. They've given us chances to win. I think as we keep going, you'll probably see if there is some separation between one or the other guy, that someone's going to get a little bit more regular starts, if you will. And I'm not saying you're going to run a guy for 15 games, but 2 of 3 is most certainly something that we will start to look at.
And so when you consider maybe looking more at that, is that just getting to crunch time of the season? Is that seeing some set? Like, how would you make that decision?
We still look at opponent. We still look at rest and recovery for goaltenders. But a lot of it comes down to finding ways to win games too, because it's the area that we're in. Every point, every game, every win is so very important. And if we have one of them that gets hot, I think it's important that we can stay with them for a bit, and then hey, if the other guy happens to get hot, then we get to stay with that guy for a bit too. So but I do think it's important that we find a way to go with the guy that's really feeling it.
In your experience, that's what goalies want, right? Is the opportunity to run with it if they feel like they get hot?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
If we were to look at sort of recent weeks, like Dustin Wolf has been, like the numbers are better for him. Is it looking like he'll be getting more games?
We'll see. I mean, he's going to start the next one, I can tell you that much. So we'll see. Like, you keep having good outings and you'll give yourself a chance to do that.
I know a lot of people kind of look at it, hey, if a goalie won the last game, logic dictates he should start. And I guess you're saying that there's more that goes into it than just simply what you did 2 days ago?
For sure. I mean, the wins come into play too. I mean, hey, most coaches you always want to, hey, this guy wins, so let's go back to him again. But I don't necessarily think that's the right way to go all the time. There are stretches where, you should be doing that, and we have to make the right decision as to who we're starting here.
Do you feel like you're seeing progress with the penalty kill?
I do. As strange as that sounds, we've given up a goal in each game since we came back from the break, but there are stretches of it where I feel like we've worked better as a unit together. There's just breakdowns. Last night, Bax loses his stick, and you feel a bit like a fish out of water in those situations if you're not able to get the clear. So I feel like we are getting better. The numbers that we look at are starting to show it. The numbers that everybody sees are not, because we are still giving up goals, and at the end of the day, it's got to stop goals from going in the net.
We've asked a lot about the relationship and the on-ice success between Jonathan and Nazem of late. Jonathan has talked a lot about kind of how their relationship off the ice is built, though. What has your observation been kind of how those two have grown into their roles within that room?
I don't know if they've changed, to be quite honest with you. I think together now, I feel like they have maybe a greater sense of responsibility that they have to be difference makers, because now it's not one guy on one line and one on another. I think that kind of has increased the communication that they do have with them at the rink and on the ice. Both are really good guys, so you can see them hitting it off the ice. I know they're two of our guys that like to play cards on the plane after the game, so they're around each other all the time, which helps build relationships for sure. But I think they probably feel as a tandem more responsibility to make sure that they are competitive and playing at their best every night.
They kind of came in here while there was still somewhat of an old guard and a lot of roster turnover. Like, how do you feel they've kind of taken over on leadership roles this year, maybe especially?
Yeah, I think both guys have done a really good job, and I would be foolish not to bring the other four in that conversation as well, because I do feel like those are the guys that drive our team. And I go back to last night. Unfortunately, the third period, they were the guys that did not drive our team. But the majority of nights that we play, they have been our best guys. When we need a win, they are the guys that step up. When someone needs to deliver a message in the room, it's the six of them. So it's Jonathan and Naz have done an excellent job with that. And I do feel like, they almost feel like this is their team now. And maybe that goes to your point, Pat, about kind of a changing of the guard, where they are the guard now. So I do feel like they have, they feel more responsibility, and I think they enjoy that.
It's kind of unique today with the open practice, but just wonder about, as you're kind of explaining, what people are seeing, just the competition, the little subtle competitions throughout the course of practice, and how much maybe that season-long head-to-head, between each other. How much of a purpose does that serve, and what do you see kind of throughout the year?
I think the small area games that you put into practice are a good way to kind of break up the everydayness of it, if you will. They are competitive people, and that's the one thing that we do like, is to try to give them similar drills, like that drill we played at the end today. Forwards haven't won that drill yet. That's the first day they've won it. So I like when you can put them in competitive situations, because that, it brings some energy, it brings some noise, it brings a little bit of fun to practice. And with our great fans that we had here today, I feel like it was a good drill for us to be able to use for the players.